Now, all hair grows out at a certain point. Mm-hmm. When it stops, you can tell. When it's the same, you can tell. Mm-hmm. Even if uneven, right, across the brow, right? Mm-hmm. So, like I told you, Fonz, right? And I'm calling you out. Fool, fool. It's not changing. Now, if you wouldn't be such a dillweed about it, right? Seaweed has more tact than you, right? And only God can really help hair loss anyway, not me. And just by willing it, right? Now they can ask God, and God might can change even your recessive hair gene, right? Mm-hmm. Or your balding hair gene, right? But you gotta ask to receive, right? Like I told you, if I believe properly and ask God to heal my bones, it might can, right? But man cannot, right? Science cannot, right? Technology cannot. There's no way they can think of right now to do that, right? They can't even make a flesh restoring machine, right? Like in friggin' Starship Troopers with Casper Dean, right? And what's her name? Denise Richards. What's his name's wife? Right? Ex-wife, ex-wife. Right? Charlie Sheen, right? Mm-hmm. So again, quit being obsessed with my hair. I don't know. Which is what? Good. Fine, fine. For a 52-year-old man that ain't changing. Now, does it look weird to you? I understand, right? Does it look uneven to you? Yeah, I told you why. And it's how it's been. What's going on is it's growing lower on the forehead a little bit as I'm getting older, which is unusual, right? But I think it's still pretty much been the same, right? Even on YouTube, right? Unless it slowly grew out and down and down and became uneven. I don't know, right? I don't worry about it, right? But you're trying to make me worry about it. I keep telling you that too, right? See, if I'm not worried about it, God does that, right? Not you, not you. You're trying to make me worry about it, right? And I keep telling you, I'm trying to communicate something to your stubborn butt, right? But your stubborn butt won't listen, right? You're hearing your own negative demon, right? That's what it's called, right? If God made Adam and Eve with hair, they had probably both dominant genes, right? Satan is probably the one to bring in the recessive balding gene. He already hates his design, right? He probably had a dominant and recessive gene when he first came into the flesh, right? Now, one is from the father and one is from the mother, right? Or again, his own death, right? Caused genes to kind of change, right? After the sex, right? Now, why does AIDS spread through sex, right? It's kind of like getting AIDS in Eden, right? And you die 930 years later, right? See, we don't hear what killed us is something killing itself first, namely the human form of Satan, right? Now, like I told you, read Revelations 20, 21, and 22 to see Satan's fate. He's resurrected with the unjust. Idiot. If you have to resurrect someone, that means they what? Died. When did he die? When he became the Garden of Good and Evil. Right. That's when the earth itself became the Garden of Good and Evil when Satan sinned, had a baby with Adam, after the baby was in such excruciating pain, right? which also transferred to Mother Eve when she gave birth to her babies, right? It's called a direct link. When you exchange DNA, right, even through sex, even without reproduction, right, even if you didn't get, say, Eve pregnant and both children are then Adams, right, I don't know, they look different too, probably, like Esau and Jacob. There's a reason for that. What if Ishmael also slept with Rebecca? Mm-hmm. So you got to think outside the box that they're fraternal twins versus identical twins like Tia and Tamara or whoever, right? They're supposed to look pretty much alike unless they have different skin pigments, right? I think Tamara is a little lighter than Tia, at least from what I see on the show. But they still facially, except for a few moles on Tamara, look the same, right? Though Tia is a little darker, right, in her skin pigments, right? Which could have to do with who was born first and last, too. I don't know, right? I think Tia is also the oldest, I'm not sure, right? Unless I got it backwards, but whatever difference it was, maybe if it was reversed, Tia was in the womb longer. I don't know. The difference, though, is in the skin pigments between the two girls, not their genes, not their genes, right? Now, why are their skin pigments different, you might ask, right? I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery, right? Well, only God can answer, though. Right? It made both the mother and father of Tia and Tamara, too, right? And when the genes combined, they didn't know they were going to have twins, right? Then suddenly, bam, twins, right? No one knows those, right? Why we have twins either. But here's my theory, right? We were probably born male and female in Eden, right? Paired together from birth. And before the fall, guess who you had to marry? Your sister. Your sister, right? Until the law of Moses told us not to sleep with our sisters anymore. And that's what it means, basically. Or your cousins, which is kind of what's going on now, right? You gotta be careful with that stuff. And there's a reason, but it don't mean you're supposed to do it, but it also don't mean you can't do it. Why? Sex is physical. But that's what Moses means when he says uncover your sister's nakedness, right? It's talking about sex and penetrating her what? Vagina with your penis, right? And uncovering her nakedness completely, right? Until you finish, right? That's what it means with your sister, though, not your wife. You can see her naked. Idiot. Adding to the commandment of Moses, the commandment of carnal men who don't want to even see their own wives naked because they went gay a long time ago, probably. They hate the female form by now, right? I'd love it, but no. I'm still supposed to wait for one woman at least at a time. Unless a bunch of women want to be with me and say so, right? See, they gotta say so too, though, right? I don't know, right? See, like I said, when I go to sleep, unless someone's knocking on the door or ringing the doorbell, right? I know. I might not even hear them, right? And sleep on through. I might not. But if I don't recall it, like I told you before, and I watched TV last night and I found the TV on a different channel, someone changed it by morning. If it was me, why did I forget? So that's what I'm asking you, idiot. You can't do nothing alone, right? You can't change your TV by yourself unless someone changes it for you with a remote, right? I don't know. Now, I told you what I basically was watching last night, right? And I usually put my remote around my head area on one of the books. And like I said, I'm not saying there ain't another way to change the TV. If you got a remote for it without my permission, that right? Now, like I said, here's the remote at the head of the bed. I don't know if you can see it or not. And when I turn it on, it should be on the last channel viewed, right? Because I ain't touched it. I know. Either, right? I put it up there, right? On the bugs, right? So I don't even roll over on it. I don't know about you, right? Right?
The sheriff's office. Oh, hello, Johnny.
And this is right?
I haven't got a man to spare. Not a single man.
This is Time Tunnel, right?
Everything says in
Right. Then the Invaders, right? Then Buck Rogers in the 25th century, right? Which is 24 to 25, by the way. Saved by the Bell. If you're wondering why the date reads 24 something, that's why. Saved by the Bell. This is the old one too, right? In 92, right? With the original cast, 91, 92, right? One's October and one's December. Right? This one is in November of 92, and this one too, right? This is May of 93. Back to December 5th of 92. Right? Cause see, why would one be on the 7th in 91 and one on the 5th in 92? The days change, right? By a day or two. Then the Flintstones. Fred's flying lesson, right? Fred's second car. Time machine, right? The Jetsons. Jetsons Night Out, right? Green Acres is the place for me. This was, I didn't raise my pig to be a soldier, right? Durr. So this is from September 28th, 66, right? 3 years and a few months before I was even born, right? This is never take your wife to a... Oops. Disappeared, right? I don't know why. I don't know. To a convention, right? This is February 8th, 67, so that's the following year even, right? So it's episode 20, season 2, right? This is... The previous one was season 2, episode 3, right? So they're a little bit apart too, right? That's episode 20, right? This is the Beverly Hillbillies pay a visit, right? So it's their own version, of course. And this is from March 1st, 67, episode 23, right? And then April 2nd, 68. April 10th, 68. A star named Arnold is born, right? I guess it's a two-parter, right? 29 and 30, right? The Birthday Girl. Lisa hands her birthday gift list to Oliver. The townspeople stage an intervention, right? And this is 69, but January 1st. And it's season 4, episode 13, right? I didn't know they went at that. So that's also the following year in January, even, right? Another one, right? This is season 4, episode 16, the 22nd, right? So that's 3 more episodes, right? Then this is October 18th, 69, right? A little bit under a month before I was born, right? This is February 14th, 70, right? Episode 20, season 5, right? The Confrontation, right? This is the case of the Hooterville refund or something, right? Oliver is headed for trouble when he receives a modest tax return, right? Refund, right? And this is February 28th, 70, season 5, episode 21. I don't know. So it's still 2 weeks later on the 28th for some reason. Usually they were weekly, you know. Should have been the 21st and the 28th, right? Then Full House, right? At 5, right? The Andy Griffith Show at 6. Collector's Call with Lisa Whelchel from The Facts of Life, right? MASH. Perry Mason, the All-Star Assassin, right? Ed Sullivan, Rock and Roll Classic. Give me that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose it. Got a backbeat, you can use it. Any old way you choose it. Got to be rock roll music if you wanna dance with me. Right. Now, when people tell you you can't sing and you're doing impersonations, they're lying. They're lying too. But you're not the only one who can probably do that, right? So don't get a swell head either. Now, when they say you can't sing, they probably mean in your voice. Like that's better or something, right? Though I hear Fallon's voice sometimes more than the impersonation, right? Right. Not saying he ain't singing the song well or right notes or you don't hear the melody, right? But sometimes I hear him more than Eminem, right? Hi, my name is what? My name is what? Right. Now that didn't sound like me, either. That's true impersonation when you can sound like totally someone else and not the rapper himself, but right. totally different voice. That means I made it up on the spot, right? And chose to do it. I don't know. Hi, my name is what? My name is who? My name is Slim Shady. And if you don't hear it, you're what? Tone deaf, or want to lie about it, right? Or have a problem with people who can impersonate other people, right? That's the problem. In music, it's called unison. Part harmony is where you're singing two different melodies of the same song, right? No one person can sing a melody that way. You need two. Right. And you also got to work on it because it's harder to sing harmony than unison, but you can do both, right? And what that means is you got to hear your partner and yourself and come up with a counter melody to the original melody, because really, usually there's one melody for the song, right? There's not two unless you're freestyling it, which means you're changing the notes around, right? Basically, that's what it means. Even when you play a piece differently in band or choir, if you hit the wrong note, that's called freestyling it. Now, the thing is, you got to make it fit the melody. But when you go up a half step or down a half step, it's called freestyling the note. From what it's supposed to be, though, then you're sharp or flat. Musically speaking, right? You're not hitting the correct note either. That's part of music too. When you go on the road, they want to hear the version of the radio. That's why a lot of people don't go to your concerts. You sound different than on the radio. See, the reason you do that is you don't have to worry about someone getting paid to sing your song, right? Like me, they have to do it for free, right? As a lesson, right? So you usually pay a teacher if they do a good job. Even, right? So I'm just teaching music. If I can sing all the songs, even under copyright fair use, and legally speaking. And then you're just paying me because I'm giving you solid good lessons. You don't want to learn them, maybe, right? Because you're stuck in your own little world, right? Thinking only you can sing a song, right? Well, that's crazy too, right? That's denying unison then, right? And that we're all human beings and we should all be able to impersonate each other too, right? Both should be true, by the way. You can freestyle the song anytime you want, and you should be able to sing it as you originally recorded it in the studio. Now, if you don't, that means you're lazy and not working on it, right? Means you don't think it even matters, right? And one time I heard Plant sing a song so off, Robert Plant himself, right? I know he messed it up, right? He didn't get one note right. But guess what? The voice that sung, right, even though it didn't get one damn note right, it's still Plant's voice, right? Why do you think he did that, though? Right. It shows his voice. It shows his voice, right? If you can sing the song that friggin' off, it's your voice. You're really singing the song, right? Sometimes you don't believe it, right? I guess, right? And they might feel they have to prove it to you they're the one singing the damn song, right? Because auto-tune has to be used with everybody, not just rappers who can't sing, right? Who can't always hear a melody, I guess. Not all of them, probably. I don't know, right? So you gotta listen well to sing well. Now, like I told you, I know because I play my videos back at least once. When when I first upload it and listen to it. Right. I know without your inference, right, or interference, I'm doing the impersonation, right? But I have to do it differently, and as teaching you how to impersonate. Then it becomes a what? Educational piece, right? I'm teaching you how to impersonate because you seem to have forgotten. Right. The time tunnel. Still not my voice, still not your voice. I established what's called the baseline voice, right? Myself. When I change it, you know, even if I go deeper or higher, I did the vocal change. Right. Even if I scream like a damn banshee, I'm doing the voice. Not Mariah Carey. But why can't I? You're not afraid to do a child's voice anymore. That's it. Mariah said the same thing. Whenever she had a cold, she could go at a whistle when she was a kid herself, right? Well, I could too still. I told you that too. Now, why is it when you have a cold, you can go into whistle register? Your sinus passages is filling your lungs a little bit with what? Mucus. What does mucus help do? What is it actually doing? Lubricating. I know. It's not a bad thing. It's lubricating your lungs, right, and your nose to get the infection out, right? I know. I've never had COVID, and it has nothing to do with me learning to do whistle again. I told you who I learned to do it with was Justin from New York Vocal Academy, right? He taught me how to do the inhalation, right? Part of it, right? And the two ways to kind of do it, though I'm still messing with myself about exhale. a little. But if you can do it on the inhale, you can't tell the difference between inhale or exhale. When you do whistle, it's no, you can't. You understood? He understood. What did I say? And you can talk in other ways too. Yeah. Simple as that, right? I'm asking you, didn't right? Can you talk in this voice? I can probably sing in it and talk, right? Mariah too, right? Ariana Grande too, whoever too. Now, when I started doing it though, it had nothing to do with Ariana or Mariah, right? I learned to do it myself, and I don't say they can't or Minnie Riperton, right? And those are the two. For a while, it was just Mariah, right? Then from Minnie Riperton came Mariah, which was in the early 90s, right? Maybe late 80s when she came out, right? Even, right? And me and her are closer in age than her and Nick, but I don't know her that way, right? She's supposed to be married to Nick and has babies by Nick, not Shane. Exactly. And I don't use her, which is why I do it higher and lower than her, right? I can even go into almost middle C, and which again, Mariah don't really do. And see, so can Dan Aykroyd. He did skits with Julia Childs, right? So does the guy who does Miss Piggy's voice. That's a man, by the way, not a girl, not a girl. If you're confused, Miss Piggy is not a girl. The one who does the voice. Right? FYI. That too is educational if you didn't know. Now I'm not saying a girl can't do Miss Piggy's voice either. Then I go to heart, right? What about love? Don't you want someone care about you? That's enough for me. How about you? Right? But why? Well, she's not singing full soprano now, right? I don't know if I could really do that well, right? I don't really worry about it at all, right? I think I do enough to be entertaining. And maybe get a paycheck for it. But then I'm using other people's material. But why do you use other people's material? They don't recognize you. Right, then, right. Everybody can listen to the radio because what? It's free. It's free with your car. You at least get AFM or AM, though AM's like, hardly no music, right? Anymore, more sports or news channels, right? And then you got FM, which has all the channels that play the music of the record companies and all that, right? Now, I still think that's payola because you pay the disc jockey to play your music, right? Even if the government sets up, the FCC sets up the station somehow, right? And gives them permission, you still have a format called country, rock, and R&B, and light rock, contemporary, pop, right? All those are genres, right, of music. Well, like most people, I can sing all the genres, right? Because you're playing favorites for some reason. That's why some of us think you to do it, right? They gotta you, right? And guess what that is? Sexual harassment in the workplace, right? Because it's a job, too. Right? You're paying these people to do it, right? I don't know. All you can do is ask. Why are these people so special? And you're not letting everyone do it. I know another reason is to control the money, right? Simply put, if you have a bunch of artists who are making that kind of money, right, you gotta pay them. So, what does that mean? The rich make the debt more than the poor. They can't afford to live because of the rich, right? The rich, in fact, create the poor because they become depressed. Because their 9-to-5 job don't even make enough money for them to barely live, right? They can do that on the streets, right? I guess, right? And they give up, right? And then they go to shelters or, right, soup kitchens, right, to eat food, right, every day. And yet you say, oh, we still feed them. Sure. But you're also the reason you're greed. Dragons hoard gold. Why? It's a shiny metal and it's pretty, right? They don't think of it as anything special except it's shiny and they want to be around it for some reason. It makes them feel good or something, right? Now, you can have more money than God because God's the Spirit. It don't need money, right? We, though, created a barter system, right? Instead of giving freely, right, to one another what we need, right? Here's a cool idea or a bad idea to you, but what if we just all built houses for everybody to live in, right? And gave one to everybody, right? Then nobody would be homeless, right? For free. Why? Because we all need a place to stay. Just pick you an apartment, move in with your girlfriend or your babies or whatever, right? And there you are. God don't even require a marriage certificate. Men do. And, the government does, right? To be legally married, right? Like, did God say, two shall be one flesh? That sounds like sex to me, right? And how was Eve made? By being taken bone and flesh from Adam, right? That's a two-part making of her from him, not one. No, Now, if he had female flesh in him, right, and it was removed to make her body, that means they shared the first body, idiot. And you can't see the vision of Moses telling you that, right? Moses is telling you they were in the same body, they were one. Not me alone, means also within one another, right? All one, that's another way to say alone. Alone, right? It's a contraction of it. Means all one. The male and female are all one in Christ Jesus. So are the Jew and Gentile, bond and free. Why? He's the firstborn of every creature. There's two creatures in earth, right? Male and female. He's the fullness of the Godhead, lovely. And it includes the female. God, Christ, the man, the woman, then the children, the father over the son, and the mother over the daughter. Right? That's why if you come up with a Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, you also got to bring the opposite Trinity, Mother, Daughter, and Holy Ghost. And they're a separate image now, right? When we were one, right? One was made two, right? For the purpose of reproduction, right? Now, if it didn't hurt in Eden, it's not only the conditions, but if Jesus is our example of that, and say in day 3, the angels were made, right, in the earth. And then in day 6, we were made. That's 3 days later, right? That could be up to 3,000 years or more later, right? That means if you're seeing the technology of the angels, right, they were here first, right? Then we were made, right? Why? Because God had a problem with Satan early on. He was fine with everything at first, right? But something happened to him. Somehow he either hurt himself or his wife or went crazy for some reason. And that's why people can go crazy now. But you're not including yourself. You're saying, nothing's wrong with you. Compared to who? Right? Other people like you? No, you're crazy and other than you think. Right? You're attacking me for having to deal with voices, but you deny the voices in your own head because they're called thoughts. Another word for voices is thoughts, right? Now, what's the difference between your thoughts and somebody else's thoughts? What, you can't think similar to someone else? Satan or Jesus? Right? Yeah. Now, if something's speaking in your head, like a conversation, only one being can really communicate with you telepathically, and that's because it's not physical, and that's the spirit itself, right? If something's speaking in your head, how do you know it's not God, right? It's a spirit. It's a spirit. It might not be true telepathy, right? Either. Coincidentally, right? I even got a few of the lines right. Nope. But even though I never seen the movie, right? It did go a little Planet of the Apes, in a way, right? But are they blaming you or the men, right? I don't know, Kiki. Unless you pissed her off, because I'm talking about licking her. And then, I don't know her personally, right, that she would do that, right? She don't seem the kind of girl who would come to some strange man's house, have sex with him and leave him, right? I don't think she would. Now, I don't know with the TV changing and all that, right? See? So, they're playing records, right? Fast or slow. Why would they do that? You figure it out. Go see the movie, right? See, this is still promotional, right? You don't really know what I'm talking about, or maybe you do subconsciously yourself, and when you see the movie, it'll make the same sense to you that it made to me, right? Why Jordan did it that way he did, right? But you go to the movie even if you know what's going to happen. Everybody knows, like, with Halloween, what's going to happen. Michael Myers is going to try to kill everybody again, right? Jamie Lee Curtis is going to try to stop him, right? And again, whoever else is the subordinate, cast, right? They're going to either die by Michael's end, right? Or again, right? A few might survive, right? Like your daughter or something, right? Someone close to her, right? Still might survive, but he never really wipes them out, nor do they wipe him out, right? That's kind of the genre, and thus Jamie Lee Curtis really dies, and then there goes Michael unless you get a new crew, right? And do what's called a remake. So the remake, even like I said with Jessica Simpson doing Take My Breath Away by Berlin, there's only one Berlin, right? And there's only one Jessica Simpson, but you're not going to get the same results the second time. Lightning rarely strikes twice, so it can, but you got to do such a phenomenal job, right? And I've heard different versions of White Rabbit, right? And one pill makes you larger, and the one pill makes you smaller, and the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she was just small. I can't even do her vibrato if I want. Right. But you want to argue about it. You want to be dicks about it, right? Richard's in disguise. Noggins in disguise, right? And like I told you, if I'm attracted to women, she would work, but she's older than him. Right. And she got a normal face, right? She's symmetric, right? Right. I don't even know the actress's name, but yeah, that's my cup of tea, right? Not the men. They have my face, or even if I look a little feminine to you somehow, you want to see a woman, right? But it goes up. I know what you want to see. You've been telling me for 2 years, and it ain't changed in 2 years. Or since I was about 30, let's say, it started to happen a little bit, right? I noticed the left side is making me think I'm going bald, right? Well, I thought that for a while, but then I kept looking at it, and it never changed. It's not receding and going up higher into the forehead. Not in 2 years. 3 years now, right? And he keeps saying it. Why? He's in his own loop about it, right? I can't help that, right? Or he's jealous, right? And I can't help that, right? And I'm just doing videos on YouTube, not hurting nobody, right? Legally, too. Because you pretend, right? Someone can sing better than someone else, right? That, too, is a delusion of grandeur for the person singing. Even Frank Sinatra could be impersonated, but why is his voice considered good or bad? Some people don't like Frank's voice. Some people did, right? And be honest, it's neither good nor bad if you like the genre, which, is gangster, right? Croner type music, right? Like Nat King Cole, right? Though Natalie Cole is more R&B than her dad, but he's considered a crooner, right? Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, mean I've blamed you. A little off, a little off, a little. I hear it, I hear it. Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, mean I've claimed you. I won't. But that's me working on it. And from when I heard it, after the boy on the radio or TV, right? And I'm impersonating what I heard, right? That's teaching you how to do it. Legally under fair use. It's educational now, right? You can't do a damn thing about it. But you're so mad about it, it seems, right? Oh, you won't even do nothing with me, huh? Right? You're lying out your butt. Sideways. Because I do true impersonations too. Like I said, sometimes I hear Fountain's voice and not the impersonation. Though he's singing the correct melody, don't get me wrong. I hear what he's doing, right? I ain't saying this bad, right? But it's another way to do it, right? So if you do it in your voice, you sound a certain way too. Right. How are you going over? Hello, baby. How you doing today? I'm even lower than Barry right there. I know. My first, my last, my everything. Now I might give you a little tears. Myself. Trying to match her, My everything. All my joy in me. I know I'm a tad off, but I worry about it because, again, right? My everything. I don't know. My first, my last, my everything. That was better. And I'm matching the recording, which is edited, and you can even use Dolby noise reduction and all kind of stuff. Cut out the noise in the background. You still might hear my fan, right? Or something, right? In the background, right? Right. But that's a real recording, right? There's no interference. It's not from the studio, right? This is how you're also supposed to sing the song live, right? You're supposed to match your own album, right? Legally speaking, yeah. If you're singing the song perfectly correctly, you're supposed to sound like you sound on the radio. That's why when Mick Jagger sings any song different, people like, did he even do that? Right? Not that he sounds good or bad, he just sounds so different from the radio version. You wonder, what? Do you auto-tune it or something? Nothing personal, Mick, but you know why, you get lazy, right? You don't care about your own music, right? Because no one can sing it but you. Right. That makes you lazy, doesn't it? Not saying you're not good when you do your performances either, right? And I know why you do it, right? Right? But that also makes people think it's not you, right? Why? You can't do it like on the radio. I can't get no. Hey, 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 that's what I say. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no girly action, but I try and I try and I try and I try. I can't get no no. Hey, hey, down. That's what I say. Uh-huh. And I don't listen to that if I don't want to. If I don't want to. If I'm freestyling a tad, it's still a voice. Alright. From the radio, though. Not live. Not live. Now, if I hear it a few times. Now, what's weird with Freddie is when he goes to do the high note, it gets all dark on stage. That's kind of weird, Freddie. Yeah. I know. Can he even do that but once in the studio? Makes you wonder, huh? And it makes me wonder. As the light house, all the glitter is goes. I'm sounding like an old man. And she's walking the stairway to heaven. Ever want to do it like a monk? And it makes me wonder. I never really thought about it so long. I mean, seriously. And it makes